Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to look at a fun deck, otherwise known as Seaking and Friends or Seaking Evolutions. This deck's actually pretty fun. It has a neat little combo that goes with it in order to use the first attack from Seaking to do a pretty good nice chunk of damage. It is a fun deck. It's not very it can be competitive because there's a couple of things with it that make it a little flawed. One of the things is the HP. Also other evolution decks are kind of in the same area as it, so it's kind of hard to explain, but essentially like the Trio evolutions or Girl Lurk evolutions, they have things about them that are better than Seaking and have less requirements to them. So those decks kind of shine a little more, but this is actually still a fun deck to play, and pulling off like a combo kind of thing reminds me of Hearthstone a little bit, but it is pretty nice. We're going to be using Seaking over here. He's a 90 HP water type Pokemon, and we'll be using the move here, Soaking Horn. Does 10 base for 1 water energy, but if this Pokemon is healed during this turn, the attack does 80 more, so it does 90, and then plus Muscle Band does 110, and Weakness 220, things like that. But the main point of it is does 90. The Trio does, I think, 60 base with one fighting energy, and Golurk needs 4 or 3 energies to do I believe 120. So they're on the same attacking range, of course, but the one thing the Seaking does have over Golurk itself is the fact that it can get it set up pretty fast. It gets set up at stage 1, so it's not too hard to come out with, and also it's only 1 water energy, so it's very easy to set up the attack cost and to get out a Seaking. The only problem here is you need to have a requirement here, which is you have to heal it before you actually attack. It's not too hard, but you will run out of resources eventually if you run potions or things like that. But it is another thing. Also, we need to have it damaged before to even heal it. You can't heal a Pokemon that hasn't been damaged, so we have to lower its HP to 70 somehow or a little less, and then we can finally use the healing option to use Soaking Horn for its max potential. It is weak to grass, so of course Vespi Queen and Mega Septel will be a big pain in the butt. However, we do run Flareon, so it'll be nice. If you're running to Mega Septel, it would be a nice one prize card trade. If you're running to Vespi Queen, it's kind of a hard matchup for you since they usually get set up a little quicker than we are able to, but it's still plausible. Also a true retreat cost, but Seaking will probably be your main attack at first place, so it's going to be out regardless. Goldeen doesn't really have much here, just got some nice artwork, but we are going to take a look at Jinx. Jinx has a nice ability called Victory Kiss. Once during a turn before you attack, of course, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may heal 10 damage from your active Pokemon. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to use Team Magma Base in combination with Jinx to heal up to twice for our Seaking. So basically, each Seaking has 180 damage in each of its turns, I would say. We can only do 90 per turn, but since we have 20 damage counters on our Seaking because of this Team Magma Base, we are able to do 90 damage for 90 damage a turn. So essentially 180 for a Seaking. We can also use Reckless Charge if we need to get damage on ourselves, but usually we'll be using Soaking Horn. So we have 4 Seakings, that means we have 180 4 times. I don't want to do the math, but that knocks out a lot of Pokemon. So Jinx here does that. We also have evolutions here to target other Pokemon besides water type weakness. We also have Jolteon to target electric type weak, and Flareon which targets fire type weak. So metal, flying type, water, some waters, grass, and of course anything weak to water, we do super effective damage to it. Jinx doesn't really have add anything besides the healing, but still nice. We also have things in here geared towards making the deck run smoother. As I should say that, because if you want, Jinx gets hit hard, really hard by Silent Lab. So if you want, you want to put in some potions or super potions, things like that, other healing options. That way you can have other options to heal your Seaking. You can also put Rough Seas, but Rough Sea does heal 30, and it heals all your damaged Pokemon, so it's not too viable an option. Potions or super potions is probably your best bet. This deck list I made is basically streamlined to evolutions or getting things out as quick as possible, so that's why it doesn't have any potions. But if you feel uncomfortable just running Jinx and you're kind of fearing that Silent Lab matchup, then of course run some potions to help give you at least a little more options. But we do run 3 Acrobacks. This is just to get down any kind of thing we need. Say for instance we need a Team Magma Base, or we need a level ball. We can hopefully get it with the acro bike. We run 2 escape ropes. This is just to target out Pokemon that we think are the threat. Say for instance they put a wall out in front of us, we can usually use the escape rope to target out a Pokemon on the bench and then knock it out with Seaking. We also have 4 level balls because every Pokemon here is actually 90 HP, has 90 HP or less, so it's pretty neat. No shamans of course, so everything in here is target by level ball. We run 2 super rods. This is actually pretty neat. It gets a nice card. It gets our energy, our basic water energy, and any combination of Pokemon that we have in our discard pile up to 3. So 1 water energy and 2 Pokemon, or 2 Pokemon, I mean 2 energies or in a Pokemon, something like that, and 3s. We also have 3 trainers mail, just so hopefully we get maybe an acro bike or a level ball or anything, because we run a nice lineup of item cards. 3 versus seekers. This is mostly for Giovanni Scheme or of course teammates. They run pretty nice in this deck. Giovanni Scheme is good because it adds 20 more damage. So say for instance we are attacking a Pokemon that has 130 HP, or maybe something out of our range as far as weakness goes, and we need to knock it out that one turn. Giovanni Scheme can help us in that area. We also want 1 Lysander to target out potential threats, 3 Birches because sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit, and 4 Sycamores here because Sycamore is arguably just the staple card here. 1 Skyla. Skyla is here for that clutch team Magnus base, or that clutch super rod, or the clutch level ball, or the clutch muscle band, or maybe you have no supporter so you can Skyla for a supporter, that kind of thing. Teammates is here because our Pokemon have 90 HP, the odds of them getting knocked out are pretty high. So teammates lets you get out another, maybe say for instance you have a Goldeen ready but you don't have the Seaking or the Muscle Band, you can obviously teammates for the Seaking and Muscle Band, so you can make a comeback with it. Teammates is a pretty nice card in this deck because a lot of Pokemon here will faint at least once per turn. We also have 3 Team Magnus base, and Team Magnus base is kind of the important one. It is the one that whenever you play put a basic Pokemon from your hand, except for Team Magma Pokemon, they put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. So if we put Goldeen down with Team Magma base on board, we actually put 2 damage counters on our team, on our Goldeen. So when we evolve, we can actually use Silken Horn twice. It's not nice. Muscle Band just boosts our Seaking's attack. 4 special energies here. This is actually another way we can use to damage our Seaking. Say for instance we start off with Goldeen and not a Team Magnus base, we can put Rainbow Energy of course to put 1 damage counter on our Goldeen or our Seaking. That way we can at least have 1 shot of doing Silken Horn for 90. And we run of course 5 water energies because it does require water energy to attack. Also the Rainbow Energy can be used for Jolteon or for Flareon or even Jinx if they need to attack for whatever reason. And that's about it. So this is the deck. It came out a little bit late because I was supposed to put it up around Friday or Saturday, but I was playing Street Fighter 5 beta. I'm sorry, but I was playing it. It's a really great game. I'm gonna make videos of it because I'm probably gonna play that for a long time. It's gonna be this and Street Fighter 5 for a while. But yeah, so I was just playing that. So it's coming up, I believe Tuesday. I'm gonna make it. I'm also gonna come up with a Christmas deck, but I'm having kind of trouble thinking of what a good Christmas Pokemon. So if you want, put on in the comment section, just put Pokemon you think that make good Christmas, like Christmassy Pokemon. That way I can put them in a deck somehow, or just throw them in a deck, because I want to make a Christmas deck, but I just don't know exactly what a Christmas Pokemon is besides Delibird, I guess. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy the match. So yeah. So we are going against a fairy deck, which is actually pretty neat. It's nice for us because it shows the deck how it works when you're not fighting an opposition that doesn't have weakness advantage, or we're not fighting a deck that we have weakness advantage of. So we're gonna go and flip tails, and we're gonna go first because we're gonna need to evolve. So of course we need to start off a little bit ahead of our opponent there. Like this off chance that we start off with Goldeen is always nice if our opponent can attack us since we don't have Team Magma base out yet. And so our opponent opens up with a Gardevoir EX, which is actually pretty neat because there's no surefire way for our opponent to knock out our Goldeen unless he puts like Giovanni Scheme and Muscle Band and then Fairy Energy. So obviously something you wouldn't normally have in a fairy deck. So I do get a Team Magma base out the Acro Bike, and I apply Touch Muscle Band to my Goldeen, and it's now my opponent's turn. So let's see what my opponent does. He's got a Poke Fan Club. Also, there was a recent update, and with the update there came a bunch of glitches and bugs, but they'll probably patch that out sometime soon. But they also did fix the animation speed, so I'm not gonna actually speed this up. So if it is fast enough for you guys, then I'll leave like this from now on. But if it's still too slow, then of course I'll speed it up. My opponent gets a Spritzy and a Xerneas, and of course he attaches a Spirit Link to his Gardevoir EX. And see what happens here. He's probably gonna Life Leap. Yeah, he touches a Fairy Energy, and he is probably gonna go ahead and just Life Leap for 20, which is pretty good for Goldeen, or Seaking at least, because now we're able to use Soaking Horns to his advantage. And so we draw Rainbow Energy, but I'm gonna go ahead and just evolve into Seaking. I don't want to attach the Rainbow Energy. I kind of want to just attach some regular Water Energy if I can, but I don't draw one. I do draw a Goldeen, however, so I'm gonna play down Goldeen, put 20 on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the Level Ball, of course, and draw out the Jinx, because Jinx has lower than 90 HP. We can just search for it and put him onto the bench. So now our combo is kind of set. We have no Water Energy, but we do have a Rainbow Energy in our hand there. So I'm going to use Transmail to see what I can get from my Transmail. I get Super Rod and then 2 Birches and a Lysander. Lysander seems the most useful right now because I can target out that Spritzy before it becomes too much of a threat. I don't want it to be using Fairy Transfer, of course, to slow down their the Fairy decks. You gotta get rid of the Spritzys or Aromatisse. So I'm going to go ahead and use Victory Kiss, and of course I'm going to use Soaking Horn. And doing 110 to Gardevoir EX, so it's a pretty big chunk of Gardevoir's life right there. Not enough to knock it out, but still a pretty nice, decent chunk there. So let's see what happens here. My opponent's going to evolve his Spiricy to Aromatisse, so now the Fairy Transfer is available as an option, but my opponent is thinking about it. He only has 1 Fairy Energy. We were able to get a pretty sizable jump on our opponent because Fairy decks do take a little bit of time to set up. We did get a nice little jump on him. We're doing a lot of damage for 1 energy. My opponent does touch a Lucky Helmet to his Xerneas, not EX, his Xerneas, and he's actually going to go ahead and Lysander out our Jinx, which is kind of a bummer now because now we got to touch energy and retreat. I'm going to evolve my second Seaking, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm kind of forced to Acrobike here, maybe get 1 energy. So I did get 1 energy. The evolutions won't be useful in this matchup. So I'm going to touch my 1 energy to the Jinx, of course. I'm forced to retreat. Luckily, Jinx has a 1 retreat cost, so it's not too big of a deal. And I'm going to get rid of the Gardevoir EX. It has the energy as well, so it's always good to get rid of it. And I'm going to go ahead and use Soaking Horn, once again, knocking out the Gardevoir EX. So we're in 2 prize card lead now. And we get off of it another Jinx and an Eevee. So the Jinx very important, the Eevee not so much. Well, I actually made a mistake. The Aromatisse actually moved the energy to the Xerneas. So my opponent puts on a Cottony, so it's a Whimsicott essentially. So that doesn't really bother us. We can get rid of any kind of Pokemon that might prove a threat there. So he's gonna go in Geomancy. Luckily for us, we already because of Team Magma's base, we actually put 20 onto that Xerneas, so we can actually knock it out this 1 turn. All we need to do is just evolve it. All we gotta do is just heal with Jinx, and we are good to go. So we have Giovanni's, and we got Super Rod, and we got Birch, and we got Sycamore. But I'm going to just get the Birch. There's a couple resources here that I just might be valuable later on. I'm going to go on Lysander and get that Aromatisse out. I don't want to deal with Aromatisse because I don't want him having the ability to transfer his energies around. That become really problematic if I leave it there. So I'm gonna knock out the Aromatisse. I just don't want to deal with Fairy Transfer. So I do get a Level Ball, which is nice. I can get on the Goldeen out, and I can evolve that second Seaking right there. I mean, a third Seaking. So we have an army of Seakings. Our opponent does actually attach, put down a Fairy base. A Fairy Guard, I'm sorry, and he's actually going to evolve into Whimsicott. So he's going to actually Geomancy, even though he only has 1 Pokemon on the bench. Obviously, my opponent has had a bit of a rough hand here, where we're just cleaning up shop. We're kind of knocking out his Pokemon before they get anything started. So I'm going to attach my Muscle Band to my second Seaking, and I'm going to attach the Water Energy as well to it. And I'm going to Level Ball for another Goldeen, most likely. There we are, another Goldeen. And I'm going to put it down because I actually forgot about the base. And I'm going to go and just Birch. So I get Tails, which isn't a big problem. I didn't really need anything else. But I'm going to go ahead and use our attack. I forgot what the secondary attack is, but we do 60. because of muscle band, we do 10 to ourselves. So now we have the option of healing again and hitting for 110. I'm just looking at my opponent's what he's played down. He put on another Xerneas, so kind of fearful because his secondary attack would actually knock us out. He's actually going to license out the Jinx again, trying to stall for some time here, and he's going to Geomancy once again. So he's getting a lot of energy out in play, and he's trying to stall just for a bit of turn. Maybe Jinx, maybe we don't have energy, or maybe Jinx will just stay out there. But luckily we draw into Rainbow Energy, and because of the Fairy Garden, we actually have free retreat cost with it. So it's kind of a nice little attachment there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, maybe should I do it or should I Birch? I could get the something else. I'm just gonna attach the Fairy Energy or the Rainbow Energy to our Jinx, and then retreat with it. Because of the Fairy Garden, it is a free retreat cost, and I'm gonna go and just Birch, see what we can get with that hand. This time I get heads, so I guess also I get another Jinx, I get a Verse Seeker, and I get Giovanni's, and I get another level ball. The Giovanni's is actually kind of nice because now we can boost our attacks for whatever reason we need to. And I'm gonna go and get a Seaking. Might as well evolve our third Seaking and have it on the play. And I'm gonna almost forget to use a Wet Horn, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use it now and use our Wet Horn to knock out that Xerneas. He does get 2 cards because he had those Xerneas with the double helmet, or with the what's it called, golden helmet? I'm not sure what it's called, but he promotes the second Xerneas with 2 energies. So I'm kind of scared there. He might be able to enough to do the spear attack, Rainbow Spear against us, but we do have plenty of options. He actually benches another Gardevoir EX and puts down a Fairy, puts on a Spirit Link, I'm sorry, and he's actually going to Geomancy once again. Because the Aromatisse is gone, he has no option to actually move away the energy, so we do slow his deck out with just taking out Aromatisse. So once again he's using Geomancy, and he puts energy on the Gardevoir, and of course the other Xerneas, the bench Xerneas, and we're going to Super Rod for the Water Energy and for the Seaking, and I forgot Jolteon's in there, so we're going to get the Jolteon as well. And we actually here it's pretty nice. I'm going to use Giovanni's Scheme to boost my attack to 20 more, and then I'm going to use Victory Kiss. So now with Victory Kiss, Giovanni's Scheme, and of course our Muscle Band, we're able to do 130 and knocking out that Xerneas in one hit. So that's pretty neat there, making ends meet, of course, with Seaking over here. So he promotes he promotes his bench Xerneas, which is kind of a problem. Now I think that's pretty. It's kind of a problem because we're out of energy as far. We're out of options to use our 90 HP attack. So we can do a couple options here. We have Team Maga's base again, but I'm gonna go and just Versus Seeker out for a Lysander, and since that Whimsicott already has some damage on it, it's the easiest knockout to do with this current Seaking. So we're gonna use Lysander and capture out that Whimsicott, and of course use the secondary attack to knock out that Whimsicott. So there you go. Seaking. Actually, that was the only Seaking we used. So that lone Seaking by itself was actually a pretty formidable threat. It was kind of just mollywhopping the Fairy deck. The Fairy deck couldn't get things started because we were actually targeting their things before they actually even got started. So Seaking right there, just showing you with the right setup and of course the right aggression with it, it can actually be a nice deck, a nice fun deck to actually play with. It does not fare very well against decks that run Silent Lab, so keep that in mind. If you do run against decks that do kind of run that kind of thing, then using like potions themselves would help out quite a bit. But that's it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. It's kind of a short one because I want to see how this works without the speed up. That's the deck. That's how the animation runs at normal speed. So if it wasn't too big of a deal, then I'll just upload them like that of maybe more matches as well. But if you guys still want me to speed it up, then I'll speed it up. But other than that, hope you guys did enjoy the match. I'm gonna make the Chris's deck. Input your suggestions if you have any suggestions for Chris's Pokemon. And other than that, have a great day, guys.